Joining us now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is a show regular over the past 2 weeks, offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. Coach, I think that we're ready to give you a designated chair and a parking spot outside the broadcasting facility if you're okay with that.
I think it's about time. We should just have the grimy corner, and I got my little spot, and you guys just hold the spot for me weekly.
I love it. Okay, the grimy corner. And speaking of grimy things, I love that you post on social media when you have man days with your sons. What started this social media revolution for the Grimes men and going out and doing things together?
Well, you know, the first one, my wife went to my youngest daughter's volleyball tournament, and so the girls, my oldest daughter's off away at college, and so they were all gone, and so I said, okay, let's just go do guy stuff today, which is not unusual for us, but I just thought, hey, I'll post some kind of real men things and make it kind of fun, and my boys got into it and enjoyed it, so maybe it'll be a thing.
What's the next activity? Because it included shopping, holding doors for ladies, watching movies,
garage.
Yeah, country music.
Yeah. That's part of the intrigue, is that you don't know what's coming next.
You are a true offensive coordinator, Coach.
You always got to keep something unknown in your back pocket, you know?
Exactly.
Hey, do you have all the offense installed? No, we don't have it all installed. There's more to come.
Exactly. I love it.
Great stuff.
So offensive line coach Eric Mateos is the new guy, officially announced yesterday. He's a Grimes guy. Why was he the right guy for this position right now?
Well, let me just say how excited I am to have him. You know, I think the why more than anything is his personality. He is a real upbeat, positive guy. Not to say that he can't push players' buttons and ride them really hard and be demanding. He is all those things, but he has a real forte, I think, for building confidence. And you know, I just think with our group right now, although we do have some experience coming back, we're still a young group. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 guys coming back that have started for a year, but that's the most still. And then we've got some guys who will be playing who have played little or who haven't really played at all. And I still think we're a relatively young group, and we need somebody, I think, who can come in and help them build that confidence and that swagger and that toughness that we want to really lead our offense. And I think he's just the guy for the job in that regard. As well as that, he's really, really smart, wise beyond his years. You know, I got him from Arkansas. He had been – so when Ryan was my GA at LSU, he left, and I thought there was nobody who could take his place and do it just as well. And Sam Pittman, who's the line coach at Georgia now, was the line coach at Arkansas then, and I have a lot of respect for him. And he called me about Eric and sold me on him, and then Eric and I had a couple of phone conversations. And, you know, he was working under what I considered to be a really good system at the time. He had worked under Jim Chaney and Dan Enos, a couple of really good offensive coordinators, as well as Sam. He had been a junior college coach for a year, and he was just looking for a new gig, and came and worked for me for a year at LSU, and that was the year that LSU chose to fire Les Miles in the middle of the season. So he actually took over tight end coaching duties mid-season, and I saw their play dramatically increase. So he's helped me with the line. I've watched his line play over the last 2 years at Texas State. He's done a great job, and so I'm really thrilled to have him.
What was his reception like when you first approached him about the open job at BYU?
Well, he like a lot of guys was out of a job. His head coach at Texas State had gotten fired, and so he was looking. He'd have been glad to come regardless, I think, because he and I, like Ryan and I, have a really good relationship, and I think he'd have been really excited about the opportunity regardless. But when you have an opening on your staff, you realize how many coaches are out there that are out of work or who are looking to make a change. It's amazing how many calls I got from so many different people, and I had guys with O-line coaching experience in the Pac-12 and the Big 12, NFL experience, just a lot of guys that had really, really nice resumes approach me and be interested in this job. And I talked to several of them, but through the course of the last couple of weeks, just really decided that Eric was the best guy for the job.
I read that he offered Zion Williamson, the Duke basketball player who will be the #1 pick in the NBA draft, a football scholarship at LSU as a tight end. He's going to shoot his shot, apparently, right? I like that.
Yeah, he was sitting in my office one day. He goes, "Hey, I think I'm going to offer this Zion kid." And I said, "I don't even know who you're talking about because I'm pretty laser focused during the season. I don't really even know what's going on with the NFL, much less college basketball or any other sport that exists." And he said he's like this freak show. This is the best basketball player. He's like the next LeBron. And I said, "And so you're going to do what?" He said, "I'm going to offer him to come play tight end." I said, "Okay, cool." And then it ended up kind of becoming a story, so it was kind of neat.
BYU offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes with us on BYU Sports Nation. How is Eric different than Ryan in terms of how they approach their offensive linemen and the style of coaching?
Well, I would say Ryan's a little bit more like me in terms of personality, and I don't mean that good or bad. It just is. We're very similar in our approach. He has a sense of humor, but it comes out in selected moments. He's a little bit more serious, probably a little bit more gruff, a little bit more verbally demanding. Eric, I think, is one who motivates a little bit more through positive comments and builds confidence. And then when he does jump a kid, it has an impact because it's a little bit outside his normal personality. He's just a really upbeat, positive guy, and so his personality is warm and outgoing and one that players will relate to and one that makes him a really natural recruiter. I think he'll do a great job for us on the recruiting trail as well because of that. So both of them are really, really gifted coaches, just a little bit different personality-wise.
Gotcha. When do you expect Eric to make the full transition and start full-time at BYU?
He'll be in town this afternoon.
Okay, sweet. Let us know where we're going to lunch. That'll be great. As spring ball approaches, right, Jeff, what are some of your goals for the offense in year 2?
Well, one of the things I think that we want to establish after having a year where we kind of made some philosophical changes, not only in terms of personnel, but in terms of scheme, is to really more firmly establish our identity. I think that's first. If you kind of decide who you are, then it allows you to make a lot of decisions moving forward. And so we'll do that here the next couple of weeks. We've taken this past week off, and a lot of us have been doing professional development, either on film or going places. I went and visited with some guys at UC Davis. I think they're one of the top offenses in FCS football right now, and are doing some really cool stuff that's in line with who we are philosophically. And some other guys went different places. So we'll get together here the next couple of weeks, kind of put together those things, look at our season in review, study the cut-ups, look at what we were good at, what we weren't good at, ask the hows and whys, and through the course of all of that, kind of define some of those decisions moving forward into spring in terms of identity first. And then I think the next step for us on offense is to go from being an offense that's hopeful that we'll go out and score 50 points to one that expects to go out and score 50 points. I think there were times this year where we did that, and I think they all believed that we could do that, but I don't know that we had reached that point yet where we were going to show up every Saturday expecting to hang half 100 on somebody and just have that kind of swagger walking into the stadium. And so I hope this spring will help us take another step in that direction. And then, we've got a lot of young guys that will be playing key roles. And so to establish not only who our starters are, but who some of those next best guys are, will be a big part of what we do this spring as well.
How will Zach Wilson's recovery from shoulder surgery impact what Jaron Hall and Joe Critchlow do on the field in spring ball?
Give them a lot more snaps. They'll get plenty of opportunities.
All right. I think it's simple enough, but we know that they're looking forward to that increased opportunity. Great to speak with you, Coach.
And we'll talk to you next week, right?
Absolutely. Same time?
Same time, same place. We'll save you a spot and get that chair ready.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care, guys.